So when I'm making this video, it has now been at the very least 24 hours since I have played Wuthering Waves. So I thought I'd kind of pitch in and give off the things that I have learned while playing this game for about 24-ish hours. These are things you probably knew, probably you didn't know. Hopefully I can help you out in some sort of way. First things first, obviously it should be unknown, but it's super important that you actually go through your entire world and actually get all the waypoints as well as all the beacons and whatnot, because you can get the exploration progress and get actually quite a bit of useful things. As you could see right here, I could see where chest locations are. Ain't that great? That is a thing over here called the Lootmapper, and I believe I got that because I was able to go to the person over here and put in all my stuff for the exploration. I'm just gonna mention day one issues, a lot of lag spikes, so it does make combat a little bit hard, but I'm sure like in the future it'll be a lot better. Anyways, you talk to this lovely person here, Maki, and now you have your whole exploration progress. And the type of rewards you can get over here, you can see this thing, a waypoint, and I think this is the loot map. Yeah, that's the loot mapper. There you go. And obviously there's more things that you can get as you complete all of these, so I have to do this. Did you know you can get a free 4-star sword weapon, I believe, and it is like, I think on top of this building. After you go through the main story, after Scar, if you know about him, there is a point where you will be doing a side quest for fighting the Infernal Rider, and I think if you beat him, there is a point where you can actually find a 4-star weapon on top of the building. Right. If I recall, it was when you see this wind current here. We go up this, and we still gotta go even higher. But luckily, they have some extra stamina so we don't die. So anyway, it should be on top of this thing right here. And bada boom, bada beans. There is a sword here, the Dauntless Evernight. You can also get this in the standard banner, I believe, when you're trying to get your 5-star character. Specific location, if I can open my map without it lagging, it's near the boss. It's right at this area. Now in this game, compared to games like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, you have resin, right? In this game, it's called, what was it called again? It's called wave plates. Actually, don't be afraid to use these because it's actually used to get like experience for your resonators, aka your characters, or your weapons, and not for your artifacts. But in this game, it's called echoes. If you've ever played Pokemon, it gotta catch them all, right? The way you do it is you fight enemies and you see the weird silhouette thingamabobber flowing around, and all you gotta do is capture them. It's not 100% of the time that they'll be echoes, but you do get the echoes. Now you should be filling this out because as you get even higher, if I go to 8, now the highest drop rarity will go up to 4 stars, and I believe if it was level 5, it will go up to 5 stars, which I think is the highest rarity. In order for you can't just keep getting a bunch of echoes, it has to be new echoes. So I have 69 of 208 echoes collected, and that was enough to get me at least to level 8, but I have to be at phase 3. I'll be there soon. So you can use your wave plates in many different things. You can get experience for your character, experience for your weapon, get credit, or there's boss challenges you can do to get materials to level or ascend up your characters, and then you have your weekly challenges. Now what I learned, what is the most important ones to go for, is you should focus more first on weapons, and then you should worry about your resonators. Now weekly challenge, you can do it anytime before the week ends, but this is very important to do as well. So this should be top priority, but you can do it at any time throughout the week. And obviously if you need to ascend a character, then get what you need from the boss challenge, but you're mostly probably going to be using the simulation challenge, but it's up to you what you want to do. You don't have to listen to me, but from what I've read, weapon is more important first and then your resonator. And also don't make your stamina, your wave plates cap, just make sure it's just under the 240. That way you don't miss any extra remaining wave plates, because unlike in Honkai Star Rail where it could still keep going up a little bit despite it going over the 240 or whatever threshold, this one does not have any way to save extra wave plates, so you just want to use them as fast as you can whenever you can. It's not artifacts, so you just get it to level up your characters. You still don't want to waste it. Later on in the game, if you didn't know, there's actually a first clear reward every time you do a boss or whatever when you go around the world. So you could just fight it normally and get like use 60 wave plates and then get 450. But if you fight it for one time, you don't have to waste a wave plate. You can actually get the 500. So you should be fighting these bosses at least one time at any sort of time whenever you can. That way you can bring up your union level. I should have a separate video of how to level up your union level as fast as possible, because even during story you'll be capped, or you have to be union level 14 to keep going. In my case, I just turned 15, so I'm gonna do this later. But just know, just doing things around the world helps union level, and even side quests are also very important to get even more union level experience. Do not sleep on my guy Chempy here and his little robot buddy, because as you go through the world, you'll see like a bunch of like these cubes just going around. You'll see it on your map as you walk around, but basically you want to collect all, whatever it's called, you want to collect all these cubes. The Sonin's casket, you want to collect as many as you can, and make sure you give it to this guy, because he actually gives you some pretty good stuff, such as when you want to summon for characters like this lustrous tide. Speaking of the standard banner, I'm sure you heard that there is a selector 5-star going on where you can select which 5-star you want to get. But if you start the game, you may notice that you don't have your selected 5-star yet, and that's because you will have one where you have to pull at least 50 times until you get your 5-star, and then you'll get your selected 5-star character within 80, unless you're lucky and you get it earlier. Another thing that's super important is that there's actually separate currencies for the event banner and its weapon. Now let's say GN, for example, he's the event character, limited character going on right now, right? He uses radiant tide, or you can just use your regular asteroids. But for weapon, as you can see, it uses something else. It's called the forging tide, but you can also still use your asteroid. So what I'm basically saying is, if you're like me, which I started doing recently, especially in like other games, I started just putting all of like the premium currency into whatever like these would be. So in this case, I would be putting it all in radiant tide, but I also just realized that they use separate currencies. So now it makes me think that I have to be careful of what I put it on, because for weapon banners, if you do get your 5-star, it is guaranteed the weapon that you want, including the standard banner. This one is even selected. Quick rundown of each of these characters: Calcharo, Encore, and Ling Yang. They're all DPS characters, all pretty solid. Tier list of what I've seen so far: Calcharo basically at the top, Encore just kind of next to him, but all basically second, and Ling Yang, he just doesn't deal as much damage compared to the other two. So if you want a good DPS, either Calcharo or Encore. Now, who's actually top of the cream pie that a lot of people like is Verena, because of her healing and her buffs for her characters, allies character, whatever, right? She's also very good to get. Honestly, debatable to be the one you should go for if you don't get her. And Jianshin is actually still pretty solid for crowd control and her shield, but she doesn't deal that much damage. So she's good for early game, but late game, probably in the future, probably won't be as great, but still pretty good to have. Over here, you have a person named Gonchu. She's basically right here with the little present, but this is actually a super important thing to do as well, because if you actually talk to her, okay, I just had a random story, sorry. If you actually talk to her, right, it will say, I want some souvenirs. You want to click on that, and you can see there's actually quite a bit of stuff that you can get over here. The one that's pretty most important in my opinion though is the lustrous tide, which is the currency for your standard banner. You're going to need these wood texture shards. In order to get them, it's actually around the world you open chests, and I think that's basically how you get these. And of course, there's still some other stuff that you can get here as well. Don't forget to go around town and talk to people, because they might have side quests. For example, there was one over here where you had to be like a lion dancer and do a bunch of backflips, but the rewards were a bunch of chests, and it gave off some pretty nice rewards. Over at the town of Jinsho, once again, over here at the top right corner, before I accidentally go to some story, you have our dude Uncle Wei, and you can actually get some weapons if I can actually talk to him without all of this lag. As you can see over here, you can actually get some weapon and skill materials over here, although they do cost your credits or your shell credits. And he even gives out weapons if you're in desperate need of weapons. And then right behind him, we have a crafting thingamabobber where we can actually craft stuff. Yes, I am just learning this just now. Now, if you actually go to the store and you go to bundles and you go to level bundles, you can actually get rewards depending on your union level. Now, there was one for level 10, but since I already collected it, it doesn't show here, but you can get like a lustrous tide if you need that for the standard banner. And then obviously, if I turn to 20, I can get even more stuff, and so on and so forth. And also don't forget about your item exchange change, you want to go to the second one. This one's a little bit more important, easier to get. You can get the summons for the event banner and the standard banner, and of course the event weapon banner. These reset I guess a little over a month, so whenever you can get these, you should probably get those. And over here you can actually use the currency to get a character if you have enough. So if I had 270, I could have actually gotten Verena, and I can get her up to like 2 times. For the event characters, they are limited. As you can see, this lasts for only 20 days, unfortunately, compared to the standard characters where it looks like it is lifetime up to 2 times. And it also looks like the 4-star characters are also limited to 39 days. And also this one, what was it? Tuning 5-star echoes. I'm not there yet, but that is also here, that lasts for 39 days. So basically, I would not use these things on these, just because there are some better stuff that you can be using it for, unless you're down bad and desperate. I felt that, don't worry, I feel you. And also, this is a point shop here that I had just noticed, although I don't know how to get the things exactly. I assume it's through the simulation training to get the little data set, but you can get some lustrous tides over here, and it looks like some more stuff. And it looks like you have to get it from the tactical hologram calamity or to get those. I think that's basically it. If there's anything that I'm missing, or probably I don't know, put it down in the comments and we can help each other out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. I plan to do more Wuthering Waves content, but I will see you guys all in the very next video. Goodbye. What are you eating?